All right, Math 8, it's my last lesson. I'm hooked up on a tour with LM. I'm opening for BJ, or BH. Jay-Z, that's who it is. All right, Math 8, let's get this done. I knew it was 2 letters. Anyway, I'm going out on tour with them. It's going to be awesome. All right, so here we go. Let's correct sets 138, 139, 157, 911, 13, these are the 19. Okay, let's do 138. Oops. Change the fraction to a decimal. Number 5, it repeats. Number 7, that's 0.17. That's 1700ths. So if you saw 17 over 100, hopefully you remembered, oh yeah, just write it like you say it. Then the only one that was irrational was number 17. The rest of them were all rational. All right, we got that. Remember 17 was the square root of a non-perfect square, irrational. Okay, set 139, number 4. Let's take a look at that. They gave us the Pythagorean theorem, and they said, do these 2 legs, when we find we're going to find, I'm thinking of the other problem. Okay, so we're going to take the 2 legs they give us, A and B, which are both 4. Let's find C. Okay. Wish my brain was working. Okay, plug in A and B, square them, and you get 32, non-perfect square. Uh-oh, you got to start squaring some stuff. Well, 32 sits where? Let's find out. 32 sits in between 25, which is 5, and 36, which is 6. So it sits in between 5 and 6. You could start squaring 5.1 squared, 5.2 squared, 5.3 squared, 5.4 squared, 5.5 squared. Just keep squaring stuff till you find something that gets closest to 32. Problem is, it's going to be a long time. It's going to take you a while. Let's do a little more scientific way here. From 25 to 32, that's plus 7. From 25 to 36, that's plus 11. Okay, so it's 7/11ths of the way there. Well, 7-Eleven is a good name for a convenience store, and it's also the situation we're in. So what if I said, what's half of 11? That would be 5.5, and we're 7/11ths of the way there. That means we're past 5.5. Or, yeah, 5.5. We're past the halfway point between 5 and 6. We're over here somewhere. Okay, so I said, let's take 5.6 and square it and see what happens. 5.6 squared gives us 31.36. And we're off by, if it's money, we're off by 64 cents. Try the next one up, 5.7 squared. See how 32 sits in between these 2 numbers? We're going to pick the one it's closest to. So from 32 to this answer, 32.49, it's off by 49 cents if it was money. We're closer to 5.7. That's what we're going to call our answer. It's approximately 5.7. We've done these before. Hopefully it's getting a little more familiar. Wish I could speak. I'd be able to teach it a little bit better, but I'm just thinking about my tour. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, let's go to number, I think it was 21. Let's go take a look here. Yeah, and it says, can these 3 sides, do they give you the dimensions of a right triangle? Let's find out. What was I going to mention about this? It seems like I was going to mention something about that. Something, can't think of it. Remember, number 9, perfect square. Number 15, you could write it as a fraction. Terminating decimal, number 17 was irrational because it was a non-perfect square. 6, you can write it as a fraction, 12 over 2. Terminating decimal, etc., etc. Okay, and we're using this chart, right? That's a whole number, perfect square, write it as a fraction, terminating decimal, repeating decimal. Irrational are non-perfect squares and non-terminating, non-repeating decimals. 3.14 goes on forever. 3.14, blah, 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 right off the page. Okay. So we had this one over here. We plugged in the sides. Take a squared plus b squared and see if it equals c squared. Somebody move this, and that's crazy. Okay. So 5 squared is 25, 12 squared is 144, 13 squared is 169, add them up. Yep, left side equals the right side. Those are the side lengths that comprising, I can't even talk, make up a right triangle. Hey, it's probably Jay-Z calling me right now, canceling. All right. Let's go to what I'm sending you today. It's a worksheet, one of those ones with the riddles, and I'm canceling the riddle out of there, and I'll show you that later. But I wanted to work on, I'm giving you just half the worksheet. It's called square root. Maybe he's calling back now to rebook the tour. Okay. Might want to answer it there, Slickmeister. Okay, so it's going to look like this. What's the length of one side? Square root of it, right? Square root. Square root's going to give you the length of each side. Square root. Here you're going to multiply 3 times the square root of 121. Square root, square root. Now they want the negative square root, so the answer is going to be negative something. The negative square root, the answer is going to be negative something. Same thing here, negative, they want the negative one. Okay, and the good news is you can check after you get your answer. It'll be there. On this side, you're going to take 12 squared